And you've got white stuff in your hand.
I mean,
It's
like,
covered
maybe
in
if
white
you
stuff.
do
Everyone has white stuff somewhere. If you, it's some kind of pollen or something
It
like
says
coming.
the
But yeah,
scepter
thank you.
of like prophethood will not pass from Judah until the Shiloh. Something along those lines.
Prophet doesn't lie in Judah. Maybe the king, but not sure.
Okay, maybe something.
I know a kingship ended before the second temple.
We're just. Are you Christian, Mary Chance? Okay. All right. So my friend is a Muslim. I have a question. We're going to Isaiah 42 to try and locate if Muhammad is foretold inside of the Bible, because the Quran, the Holy Scriptures tells them that in
I was just going to say that we are mentioned in the Bible.
yes,
In the Injil.
yeah, in the Injil and in the Torah. So they gotta go find it. Yeah, and that's what my friend here is doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Wait, but also just
Yeah.
did Muhammad said he's in he said he's in the Torah and the Injil.
Yes, 71157.
He
Yeah.
says he's referred to
The
in
Torah
the
is not that.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it's the first part. But
Sure. But I'm not justifying the belief.
But I understand.
I'm not justifying my belief through this. I'm saying there's enough nuggets in there to convince him.
But I understand that the Torah is used twofold. It's used, yes, for the law of Moses, but also for as an abbreviation for the law of Moses, the wisdoms and the history.
That's the Tanakh.
That's the Tanakh, not the Torah.
No, it's very similar. Tanakh is an abbreviation.
Okay.
Torah and Nevi'im and Ketuvim. The book of the writings, book of the prophets, together, Tanakh.
That thing you just said, that's the Torah or the Tanakh?
The Torah is the 5 books of Moses.
Okay.
Then you have the Nevi'im, which
Okay.
are the prophets.
Yep.
And then you have the Ketuvim, which is the writing, like some of the Psalms and so on.
Okay, and if you abbreviate all that stuff, you get the Tanakh.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I got it wrong. Okay, fine. All right, fine. Well, I guess that's another problem, I guess. But whatever.
I mean,
we can talk about that later. Okay, fine. Okay, so
Too many tangents.
that's fine. That's fine. So I will take your hand.
Sure.
I will keep you, and will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles.
Sure. Jesus, according to the New Testament, says, "I have only come for the lost sheep of Israel."
And then what does he say afterwards?
Is that Jesus saying it?
He
Or is that Paul
tells his
giving it
disciples in Matthew 28 to go and make disciples of all nations. So,
I understand that verse is not in the oldest manuscripts. I'm not sure. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But what is the earliest reference to that verse?
the Great Commission is in the old manuscripts, because effectively, what did they do after he ascended into heaven? They went and preached Christ. So unless they did it spontaneously altogether, somebody commanded them to do so.
Is there any? I'll have to look at the.
I
Okay.
use verse 8 for my argument.
We can go through the whole thing, honestly. It's only
Step
2025.
I'm not saying it's not Isaiah. I'm saying it can be multiple.
And also, why is Muhammad being a light for the Gentiles if he isn't a Jew?
And I'm not a Gentile as well.
Yeah, but like, why? That doesn't make sense.
So a Gentile is a non-Jew,
Yeah.
right? Why would Muhammad be a light for the Gentiles?
He's come to preach to them.
So it's not to the Jews.
Jews and the Gentiles.
But it says Gentiles, and Jews is not Gentile.
Yeah, but that doesn't negate the fact that it can be Jews as well.
Show me how. How can you prove it? It's literally for the Gentiles. If it
The
was,
belief in Islam is that Judaism is a monotheistic.
So you're saying it's Isaiah, right? You're saying it's Isaiah. So Isaiah, did he come
no,
just for
I'm
the
saying
Gentiles?
that verse 6, whatever it said, that I will summon you in righteousness. That's not Isaiah.
Are we going back to?
No, that's the verse. That's what, no, verse 6 is that's referring to Isaiah.
And I don't think it is, because I think it's referring to Christ.
Fine, that's good for him. But
Okay? So, but we can keep going. Hopefully we can get through this whole thing. Okay, so I'll give you. So let me read it again. I will keep you, and I will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles, to open eyes that are blind, to free captives from prison, to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness.
So did Jesus fulfill that last?
So we believe he did in this way. He freed people from slavery, which is the slavery to sin.
Okay, that's a metaphorical understanding.
So-
Prophet also fulfilled this.
Who did he free from a dungeon? Did they even have dungeons in Arabia?
You can't make definitive statements like that.
Oh, okay. So, how?
But he's saying, he's saying, no, it's not about the book.
Okay.
He's saying,
You're right,
there's no
okay.
dungeons in the whole of Arabia, and that, by justification.
Okay. So in that case, figuratively or literally, how does Muhammad fulfill this?
He has free captives during his lifetime. He had free captives during his lifetime.
This is about the exile, the first exile. Anyway.
But okay, wait. A moment. So it says, I will keep you, and I will make you to be a covenant for the people and a light for the Gentiles.
I really don't understand why you're stuck on this, because
To open eyes that are blind,
Sure.
to free captives from prison,
Sure.
and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness.
Sure.
So did Muhammad do all these things? Does Muhammad even know what a covenant is?
Yeah, like, he established a covenant with the Gentiles, right? So,
Which was what?
like, Islam. Yeah.
Islam is not a covenant.
No, it's
So, okay. A covenant is an agreement between man and God. So if you do X, I'll give you Y.
and the agreement is to worship none other than God.
And God gives them what in return?
Paradise.
Eternal Jannah.
There we go, right? So,
That wouldn't count as a covenant.
The
But
covenant that God with Abraham. On the 8th day. And only the Jews are on the 8th day, not the Muslims.
okay.
okay, we're almost there. Okay, I am the Lord. That is my name.
I can answer that one.
Okay, well, let's read it.
Should we do one line each,
Okay.
and then you give yours?
Sure. Is this still going? I mean, we're reading through Isaiah 42, and we're only on verse 8. So I don't know if you want to end this.
4 hours, man.
I mean,
Huh?
this is the
Okay.
strongest argument for
Okay,
it, so can we
alright.
skip to that if we're going to end
Okay,
this?
well, one second. Okay, so I am the Lord.
Can I get to the strongest
Well, I mean, let me
argument?
read
I
this.
don't want you guys to just clip everything.
Oh no, absolutely. Everything is
Everything is
everything is
I don't want
full.
them to miss the strongest argument from my
That's fine. Okay, no, let's keep going. Can we keep going? Can we keep going for like 10 more minutes? Yeah? Okay, cool. We're not clipping anything. Everything is upward raw. Okay, so I am raw, absolutely raw. I am the Lord. That is my name. I will not yield my glory to another, all my praise to idols. See, the former things have taken place. The new things I declare before the spring into being. I announce them to you. This isn't really talking about anything in particular, but do you have any tafsir on this, Benjamin?
Let's move.
Or
Well, I'm the Lord.
this is the
The
yeah?
Hebrew word is Yud-Keh-Vav-Keh, right?
Okay,
And yes, this is not in the Quran, the Tetragrammaton of God.
I see. Okay.
So yeah.
Did you get that one by the way? Yeah. Okay.
That's
All right. So whatever. Okay.
Just-
here's
Can
the
we-
truth here.
Yeah.
Can we just go back to that one for one
Sure.
second?
Sure.
So it says, or praise to idols. So do you see the way Christians praise Jesus as a form of idolatry as a Jew?
Well, yeah. He reports that. Yeah.
So it can't be referring to Jesus according to your opinion.
Yeah. Sure. But I say that this does refer to Jesus, right?
Yeah, but he's saying you're wrong.
But then, so yes, he has his opinion. But how then does this refer to Muhammad?
It's about
Yeah,
Muhammad.
because the Prophet, peace be upon him, he didn't praise idols.
But a good point he raised is that the Lord here would be the personal name of God.
Terminology. We can go to the personal name of God after.
Okay.
We can talk
Okay,
about that separately.
that's fine. But effectively,
So what is the personal name of God then?
Yud-Keh-Vav-Keh. This is
so
Okay, what does that mean?
the I am.
yes.
I am. Okay, so that
No,
means
that's the Tetragrammaton of God.
Sure.
That's the one.
So you're saying God can only be described by the Hebrew tetragram.
No, that's not a description.
It's about the
It's the name.
essence of the name, right?
Yeah.
I am. So what does that mean?
It speaks to like
Like
essentially.
eternally existing, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
there's a name in 99 names of God.
Yep.
Which refers to the exact same thing.
This is it.
Which
But
one?
this is
Like
it.
are you?
But again, so
So
okay.
it refers to
Wait,
a
wait.
similar concept.
Okay.
So you can't say.
Yes, it's a concept,
Yeah.
but this is his personal name. So for example,
So you're saying
if
God
my
only
name is
has his name in Hebrew.
no. So if my name is David, right? And
Where in the New Testament does Jesus refer to that name? He doesn't refer to that name anywhere.
well, there's an argument to be made that he refers to the name when he mentions Kurios or Lord,
But it's not the
effectively.
exact name. It's not the
Yeah,
exact name.
absolutely.
So you're saying Jesus is a false prophet according to you.
No,
because he doesn't refer to
because
that name.
for example, what I mean by it is there's no way to refer to Allah as Yod He Vav He or Yahweh or whatever, right? But in the
I
Jews,
just told you there is an equivalent word which has the same meaning.
yes, but here's the issue. So two things. One, in first century Judea, I think by that time, using the personal name of God out loud has become akin to failing the third commandment, I think. Is it the one I'm getting wrong? Third one, right? Taking the Lord's name in vain, right? Yeah. So in the first century, using the personal name of God had become tantamount to using the Lord's name in vain, which goes directly against the third commandment. This is how it was considered at the time. So as a result, people use a different term, and the Greek for it was kurios, right? However, Muslims would not agree in any way that the personal name of Allah is Yahweh.
No,
but the first century Jews would.
Names of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala,
Yep.
which refers to a similar concept.
But the difference is, this is his personal name, Yahweh, but Allah's name is an attribute. So effectively, Allah took it on at some point.
Let me show you.
Yep, because Allah's names are his attributes. They aren't his personal names. So if Allah is loving, that's an attribute that he made when the world came into being.
Okay. This is what it means. Al-Hay means the everlasting. Al-Qayyum means self-sustaining one. So
Yes.
that is the same concept as Yahweh.
But Allah doesn't have 99 personal names.
How can you? What do you mean? That's just grammar.
No, it's not. So effectively, think about it like this. My personal name is David, right? But now you can give me titles. I can be the tall, the Nigerian, the size 13, right? Now these are my names. These are just attributes that I have, right? In the same way, Allah isn't called Al-Hay as a name. It's simply an attribute that he has that's given the name. Muhammad has the same thing. Muhammad also has 99 names, but they're not his personal names. They are titles, like the scholar, the prophets.
He is a personal name. There's no
But
justification.
Muhammad has the same thing. He also has 99 names as well, and they're all just titles, not names.
Okay, there's a hadith.
Okay.
There's a hadith that refers to the importance of that specific name.
Okay.
So when Muslims are in extreme distress,
Yes.
they should praise Al-Hayy Al-Qayyum.
Yes.
That will strengthen them. So it's a very special name to God.
That-
So
yeah.
that could be a personal name.
It's not a personal name. No one considers it a personal name. It's not. It's a attribute that's given the name.
That's just semantics. I really
No,
don't see.
it really is true. It really is true. Okay.
So you're saying the God of the universe
Yep.
has only one name that can be referred to, and that is in Hebrew.
No,
right?
that's not what I said.
Any other name which has the exact same concept cannot be referring to the same God.
No,
That's your argument.
no. It potentially could be, but in the Islamic context, the names that Allah has are not personal names to him. They are things that he took on when he made the world. For example, there's a hadith that tells you that on the day that Allah made the earth, he created mercy. And he divided it into 99, into 100 pieces,
That's
and sent one down to
we'll
earth.
have to go into the context of that. So.
And also, Allah has another name called the heir or the inheritor. Are you telling me that?
I've seen this argument before.
No,
and I
but
can tell you
are
why.
you telling me that's his personal name? Allah's personal name is the inheritor.
It's not the inheritor. Is not.
It's an
accurate
attribute.
translation. It's not an accurate translation.
What? It's either that or the heir. So it's one
Yeah,
of
but
those two.
it's not. I can come back to you on that next week if you want.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay, he's gone. All right. What else do we got? Okay. So, sing to the Lord a new song.
That's referring to Arabic, in my opinion.
Okay.
What is the new song?
Arabs don't sing.
I just told you there is a song. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, but sing is haram. But we'll get to that as well. Okay, so sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth. So I don't know if you think Arabia.
So that can be referring to the Adhan.
Okay,
What
so
equivalent do you have in Christianity referring to?
what it's the Adhan
And
is
it has
not.
to be a new song, so it has to be unified.
So the Adhan isn't a song. It's a melodic call to prayer.
You don't understand.
Huh?
It could be metaphorical.
If it was the Adhan, it'd say a call.
So what
Yeah.
would like a gospel choir be to you? Is that a
Huh?
song?
Exactly.
Gospel choir.
What about that?
Is that you would say equivalent to a song?
So within Christianity, we do sing to God. Yes, absolutely.
But I'm saying
So we don't
gospel
hold the
choir is
same view.
equivalent
We don't hold the same view that that music is like inherently
No, that's
haram
not
or whatever.
Like, is the gospel
Yeah.
choir a song?
Is the gospel choir music?
Sure, yes, it is absolutely.
Sure.
And,
So
and
they
we
sing
to God.
in a tone.
Well, they sing in general,
In a
yes.
tone.
Yes.
So does the Adhan.
Yeah.
But the Adhan is a little bit different. The Adhan is an instruction to come to prayer, pronounced in a melodic manner. Because from my understanding, things like music, certain instruments, and singing are seen as haram, at least by.
That's a tangent. What you're saying that a new song. So you're saying the only way God could be talking about Islam here is by specifying exactly what an azan is.
Well,
you can't just refer to a new song. And that could be an interpretation.
There's more to the verse than just that.
Sure.
So, sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down into the sea, and all that is in it, you islands, and all you who live in them. So, this is saying that in different parts of the world, people are going to come to the knowledge of God and sing a new song to Him.
That's Indonesia. Okay. Could be referring to Indonesia.
It's referring to every part of the world that the message of Christ has gone to. Okay.
But what message? What is this new song? Please tell me the new song.
The new song is the song of everlasting life.
That's not a song according to your definition.
No, so
you're being so hung up about the adhan being a song. So according to
fundamentally,
your argument, that is not a song.
no, but fundamentally in Islam you can't sing.
No, but
it's true. In hardcore.
You can't say the adhan is not a song, but you just gave a vague statement as being a song.
So okay, look, effectively, Christians are the only ones who sing to God, and Muslims don't. So that's all I can say to that.
But the thing is, though, you're talking about slight differences in tone.
Huh?
The adhan, some people would consider is like singing a call to
So
prayer.
Christians play instruments. We play the bell, which I believe in Islam. You believe?
It's not talking about instruments. It's talking
No,
about songs.
no, but we believe in giving praise to God melodically, right? So we play instruments and we sing to God just like David did.
Where does it say
right?
instruments?
Huh?
Where
No. I'm not referring to this in particular. I'm referring to it in general, which is why when it mentions the new song, it's not talking about Islam because Islam doesn't do songs.
Is Isaiah where they mentioned Katie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. So he's getting to that. Sorry.
So, and then it mentions that that this song will reach as far as you who go down into the sea, all that live in it, you islands, and you who live in them.
Which we also know the expansion of Islam has never ever been seen before. So when it said reach the world, deep in it,
I mean,
Christianity has never reached and expanded like Islam has around the world.
Yes, it has, because there are places in the world I've never heard of Islam.
Okay, what about Qadar? Tell me where Christianity is.
All right. So, that's fine. Let's read. So, let the wilderness in its own raise their voice. Sorry. Let the wilderness in its towns raise their voices. Let the settlements where Kedar lives rejoice.
So we have.
Let the people of Selah sing for joy. Let them shout from the mountaintops.
So there's a hymn, there's a poem called Tala al-Badru al-Layla.
Okay.
That is an Islamic poem that was sung when the Prophet went from Mecca to Medina.
Okay. Okay.
And when he arrived, there were people on the Mount Selah rejoicing on the mountaintops, and they were singing this song.
Okay. What does the song say? Okay. So, the song says, "The full moon rolls over us from the valley of peace, and it's incumbent upon us show gratitude. For as long as anyone in existence calls out to God, our messenger among us, who comes with exhortations to be headed, you who brought to the city's nobility, welcome you who calls us to a good way." Okay.
That's the song.
Now, that song is not talking about God. It's talking about Muhammad. So if the context says sing,
It says God. It refers to God.
no, but it's not talking about God. It's talking about Muhammad. So if this verse says sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth, is it talking about making a song for God, or is it talking about for Muhammad? Sure thing, let's talk.
We both agree that this is talking about Kedar, so that's the Hijaz Peninsula. We both agree it's talking about Mount Selah, so that's a mountain outside the outskirts of Medina.
Sure.
So we both agree it's talking about a mountain in Medina.
Sure thing.
Both agree.
Sorry, just to cut you there. How do you dispute that?
Yeah, no.
No.
I got something.
Very
I got
simply.
something to add.
Okay. Very
We
easy.
have documentation and evidence that the Muslims sang a song on the mountaintops when the Prophet was arriving into Medina from the Mount Selah.
And the song was praising Muhammad, not God. That's fine.
Okay,
Yep.
that's not proof.
So, brother, my dispute for that is, for hundreds of years before Muhammad was born, there were Christians in Medina. That's all.
Okay. Those Christians, when they look at this passage and they see all of that being fulfilled to the letter.
Sorry?
If I land the bottle flip, will you take one?
I'm good, thank you. I have a Quran on my phone. Okay. But I have on my phone. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry, so just on that, right?
All right.
So if you're a Christian in Medina,
Yep.
you see this being fulfilled letter by letter.
Yep.
You see your comrades and colleagues on the mountains of Medina
Yep.
singing a new song.
Yep.
Which is a praising song.
Yep.
Right? And the Prophet is arriving, peace be upon him, is arriving
Yep.
into Medina.
Yep.
You're saying ignore all that.
Okay, so as you know, historically, Christians rejected Muhammad. I went to a debate a few weeks
Are
ago.
you saying all Christians?
Huh? Well, pretty much, like the vast majority of them, I'm sure.
If you're going to use that same argument, you can say all Jews rejected Jesus.
Not all did, because
But then I'm saying not all Christians
because his
rejected
followers were all Jews. His very first disciples were all Jews.
Let me
So
understand.
we can't say that.
Any Christian,
Huh?
Jesus was a Jew.
Absolutely. So can we say the same thing about the Christians? Was Muhammad's first ever convert a Christian? No. We know full well.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's first converts were idol worship.
Okay, great. So we know full well that the Christians rejected Muhammad's message.
No, not in all parts of the world. You can't say all parts of the world. Christian. You're saying not a single Christian is converted to Islam.
No. That's not what I'm saying. But generally, so for example, I went to a debate a few weeks ago, and in the debate, somebody mentioned an occurrence that happened historically, where Muhammad invited some Christians over to prove his or to have a debate concerning his prophethood. And the consensus from the Christians at the time, after debating for 3 days, was that Muhammad was not a prophet.
Christians are
Yes, was that he wasn't a prophet. So they went away with that idea.
That's
So
specific. That's a group of Christians. That's not referring to
that's
all
fine.
Christians.
So
Yeah,
to
it also
answer,
says-
brother, one second, please. One second. So to answer your question very directly, if you are a Christian in 7th century Medina, and you're seeing Muhammad coming in, and people on the mountaintops singing a song, you would say, well, I didn't hear God being glorified there, so I'm not going to follow it. Brother, what was your job?
No, I was just going to say that in the Quran it mentions how the believers,
Yep.
the Christians and Jews,
Yep.
they will hear the message and they will know that it comes from God. And that
Okay.
the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger.
Right.
Knowing that the message is aligned with theirs.
What you have is that the majority of Christians and Jews throughout history have accepted Islam, so that's the problem.
This is tying the Prophet
Yep.
to righteousness, and it's tying righteousness to God. So in a way, it's glorifying God.
But the song, sing to David a new song. Now, if you sing a song about like cars and jeeps, that isn't to me. So when we in Christianity say sing to the Lord a song, we mean that sing a song that directly addresses God. That's what we mean by that. That
That's
song
your
doesn't.
Christian interpretation, right?
So-
that song does address God.
No, it does. It mentions God, but the song addresses Muhammad.
Okay.
But there are songs that don't mention God but mention Jesus, right?
But Jesus Christ is God, so it's all good, right?
Okay, so according to you,
We can talk about it. Yeah.
according to you, there's going to be in the future.
No,
this is a prophecy
I'm saying
that
it happened already.
There's going to be Christians standing on
It
the
already
mountains
happened
of
probably.
Medina,
It already happened probably.
and they've sung a song
Yes.
welcoming
Because
in the lifetime of whoever this is about.
no, but it doesn't say welcoming anywhere.
It does.
It doesn't say that.
Okay.
It doesn't say that anywhere. The welcoming is what you read in the song.
Okay. Let the people of Salah sing for joy. Let them shout from the mountaintops. Let
Yep.
them give glory to God
Yep.
and proclaim His praise to the islands.
Yes.
And if you contextualize it,
Yep.
this new song, it can't be a new song if it's talking after the person has come here, right? So it's a new song because that person has already arrived. Does that make sense?
No,
If
it
you're saying
doesn't.
in
Sorry.
sequence, if it's a new song, it had to have come after this revelation.
And it did, because this is Isaiah in the Old Testament, like 500 years before Christ. So yeah, it did.
And the new song.
No. Now you're saying it's Isaiah. First you were saying it's about Jesus.
No. This verse is from Isaiah. Isaiah was a prophet who lived. I think it could even be up to 600 years before Christ. So he wrote about this 600 years before the first century AD, and then it was fulfilled in Christ. Okay, so sorry, am I cornering you? Okay, so we got to, okay, so what else we did? Wilderness. Let me just read it very quickly. So, sing to the Lord a new song.
Sorry, have you ever seen Dr. Ali Attar's work on that?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I just can't. I'm not familiar
Incredible.
with
He
it right
speaks
now.
Greek, Hebrew, and Arabic, and he translates. It's incredible.
Okay.
Sing to the Lord a new song, His praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea, and all that's in it. You islands, you who live in them. Let the wilderness and its towns raise their voice. Let the settlements where Kedar lives rejoice. Let the people of Selah sing for joy. Let them shout from the mountaintops. Let them give glory to the Lord and proclaim his praise in the islands. Let the Lord will march out like a champion, like a warrior. He will stir up his zeal with a shout. He will raise the battle cry and will triumph over his enemies.
Just to go on that.
Yep.
You mentioned Isaiah 500 years before Jesus.
Yes.
Isaiah is basically proclaiming that Jesus is the one to bring a new song. Did Jesus ever go through Medina?
No. So he's not saying that Jesus will bring a new song, but people it doesn't say that the person being spoken about here will bring it, but that people as far away. Go ahead. People as far away as Medina will be singing a new song about Christ.
In terms of significance, what is the most significant historical event that has occurred in Medina?
I don't know. I have no idea.
You wouldn't claim that it's the introduction of the Prophet into Medina. Sorry. Very simply, I have never looked into Medina historically, so I cannot tell you distinctly that you're not a hearsay, all right? You know that the Prophet ﷺ went through Medina.
Okay. If I asked you, what is the single most important event that has ever happened in the UK, what would you tell me?
But you're saying
Many events in the UK.
I want the single most important one.
Coronation, there you go.
Really?
There you go.
Okay, all right.
That single most important event has like the case of the Prophet, the myth of peace be upon him, arriving after Hijrah to Medina, right? So that, and then there's people on the mountaintops and they're singing a new song, right? From the mountaintops, right? You're saying that
the song was not sung to the Lord, it was sung to Muhammad, so it doesn't count. Okay? Shall we?
That is so nitpicky, and it clearly is referring to the Lord because
So
it's saying,
I am telling you that Christians sing at church. Christians sing songs to the Lord. So if there were Christians in Arabia, in Medina, in Mecca, wherever else, in the centuries before Muhammad, they would also be singing new songs to the Lord in new languages. That's all.
But you're saying that this whole situation was just a massive coincidence.
I don't even think.
You're stuttering there as well.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't even think that the situation in any way actually really relates to this. Like a dead clock can be right twice a day. Simply because people stood on a mountain and sang a song tells me that people would do that routinely for the introduction of an important guest.
But
They wouldn't do that routinely.
consider as well Arabia.
Why would they randomly, just for a singular individual, go to the mountain unless they actually went to the mountain on a somewhat routine basis as a manner of welcoming in somebody of importance? That's what I'll say.
If you're going to say
So
that,
wait, you just mentioned somebody of importance.
Yes.
And surely a prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be somebody of
also, if
importance.
you're going to make that argument,
I am not arguing that Muhammad wasn't important.
If you're making that argument,
Yep.
you can't just make that argument without giving evidence of that.
So,
And also, secondly,
for example, people are
Tell me another person who arrived
People-
in Medina and the people on the mountaintops.
Unfortunately, in the Arabian Peninsula, Arabic as a written language is only about 1,500 years old. Most of the stuff that you have from there is inscriptions on rocks and bones in various languages, including Aramaic and Syriac. So I don't have a encyclopedic knowledge of all the events that occurred in Medina before Muhammad arrived there.
You're
But
making an assumption that that is the case.
And also
all
as well,
all
if
I'm
you use
simply
that
saying-
yardstick to use-
Yeah.
2,500 years ago.
It's as a spoken language, as a written language,
If you
1,005.
use that as a yardstick, then
Because before Arabic was there, you had Syriac.
But look, if you use that as a yardstick, it puts the Bible in a very great.
Why is that?
Because the Bible was not revealed in English, and you do not speak Aramaic.
That's
the
not a-
language that Jesus spoke.
That's not a
or
problem.
Greek,
That's not a problem. You have translators. I am telling you
which
that
we know now today, when Arabic is when the Quran is translated, people get caught on words that mean 10 things in Arabic. So
Well,
you cannot tell me,
okay.
oh, it's translated.
no. So
Precisely.
All I can say is that we can have confidence in the translators to be able to pick a word in English, Swahili, or Japanese that properly translates what the meaning of that word should be in Arabic.
Do you know what? I want to ask you one thing. Don't you
My
think
friend,
that
we are going to Isaiah. Like we're almost done. We're halfway through.
I just want to just land this one.
All right,
last
go
thing.
ahead.
If you don't mind, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'll actually back away if you want to.
No, it's just that I want to read the entire thing and then we can talk. But
It does feel,
okay.
if you look at this text
Okay.
here, that if we were to subtract it,
Okay.
you would say, okay, no worries, right? So why the addition and this specific area in the world, which, if you look at the history, was a barren land. There were hardly people.
Right, right.
There was hardly anything that passed through there.
Well,
except
it mentions, so when we talk about the Great Commission, where people were sent out by Christ to go and preach to all the world, because of what you just mentioned, right? It's a barren, random region in the wilderness. It says right here, let the wilderness and its towns raise their voice. What that means is, even the most remote, destitute areas of the world will hear about Christ.
So
that's what it means.
It says, let the barren lands raise their voice.
Yes.
Right? So when we pray with our voices out loud.
Everyone does. No one prays in silence.
Yeah, but
Well,
you
I-
only pray once a day.
Huh?
You don't even pray once a day. You pray once a week on a Sunday.
No, what are you talking
Doesn't
about?
matter.
How often do you pray?
You guys don't have an
How
equivalent
often do you
of
hear?
this.
Huh?
You guys don't have
Okay.
an equivalent of the nasheed that was
We-
sung on the mountain.
Okay,
And
okay.
also, how
We
many
are
times is
diverting.
the-
We're
how many
diverting.
times is the adhan called out? 5 times
Absolutely.
a
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
So when you say call out loud
that's why
into
I
the
said
wilderness,
Yes.
this is
No, it's not saying that something will be called out loud into
does,
the
it does,
wilderness.
it does, it
That's
does,
not
it
what
does.
it says. It is
just
said.
said it.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say that. It says so. You said that something will be called out loud into the wilderness. It says here.
It says, let them shout from the mountaintops.
It says here.
joy.
Let the wilderness and its towns raise their voice.
Let
Raise
them
their
shout,
voice.
Let
Let-
them shout from the mountaintops.
Let
That's in
let
public.
let the settlements where Kedar lives rejoice. Let the people of Selah sing for joy. Let them shout from the mountaintops.
And your argument just now was it's not in public.
What?
Wasn't that your argument? Like it wasn't in public.
No. Everybody raises their voice when they pray. That's what I'm
We're
saying.
talking about a specific-
So ultimately, the song you sent me, or showed me, sorry, is not a song for the Lord. It's a song for Muhammad. So unless Muhammad is the Lord, then you might be
we can
committing
refute
shirk.
that by saying that Muhammad never believed that he was the Lord. And
Right.
Muhammad-
So
Muhammad-
that means that means that when Isaiah is talking here, Isaiah is getting it wrong, because the Lord here, by the way, isn't just any regular person. It's Yahweh in the Hebrew.
Okay, so it's referring to Muhammad and the fact that he's bringing righteousness through God.
So the song isn't for God. It's for Muhammad.
God, like every
It's not.
song is for God, like it's
No,
referring to the prophet.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
If every song is for God, then
I'm saying in this
Snoop Dogg is
No,
for
I'm not
God.
saying that, I'm not saying that.
Okay, so can we get to 14? Is that okay? Or
Nothing in here refers to God. Literally.
it's not a song for God. It's not a song for God. It's not a song for Muhammad. Like I can sing a song for you, mention God one time, but the song isn't for God. It's for you. All right. Now, do you want to finish? Do you want to finish, my friend? No. Do you want to finish the whole thing? You sure?
I'm not,
Okay.
I'm
All right.
just here
Okay.
for that.
Okay. Right. I'm sorry. Okay. So for a long time, I have kept silence. This is God speaking. I have been quiet and held myself back. But now, like a woman in childbirth, I cry out, I gasp, and I pant. I will lay waste to the mountains and the hills. I will dry up their vegetation. I will turn rivers into islands and dry up the pools. I will lead the blind away. They have not known a long, unfamiliar paths. I will guide them. I will turn the darkness into light before them, and I will make the rough places smooth. For these other things I will do. I will not forsake them, but those who trust in idols, who say to images, you are our God, will be turned back in utter shame. So this is talking about God doing this, not about the prophets.
God, everything happens through the will of God. Like everything is like you can't do something against God's will. Right?
Okay, so here's the problem. You run into the point of potentially committing shirk because God Himself
No,
is saying.
this is just language used by God in the Old Testament. Like
Yeah,
God of
but God is saying. So the I that's spoken about here, I cry out, I gasp. This is God talking.
Yeah, like the Old Testament God. I said
Yes.
I never justify my belief in my God through this passage.
Okay.
I'm using it as an example.
I will not forsake them.
Sure.
It's not about Muhammad, it's about God. And God's still talking. But those who trust in idols and say to images, you are our God, will be turned back and not ashamed. Okay? So God will do this, not Muhammad.
So when did Jesus do this? When did Jesus-
Sorry?
When did Jesus do this?
So effectively, look, this is what will happen. So what we would say is that this is
answer the question.
just like when it talked about God coming with a battle cry. This is what we believe.
Your argument is God, it's referring to God.
Yes.
Talking about himself,
Yes.
nothing in person, right?
Yes.
So when did God do all of this?
So I think after Isaiah, you have something called the Exile,
Sure.
right? Where God is described as raising Babylon, right? Babylon, who is described as a great nation, right? To come and conquer Jerusalem and take them away in slavery, right?
So all of this happened. So
Yes.
dried up vegetation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But
So-
are you and those who trust in idols, they will be turned back and not to shame.
Yes. So
But you're saying they were destroyed, so they're not turned back and not to shame.
No.
Because
So-
turning someone back means they exist.
okay, so they were not destroyed; they were conquered and taken away in slavery. At least the kingdom of Judah, I believe, the southern kingdom was conquered and taken away in slavery. Now, when it comes to
But now you're talking about people who done that on behalf of God, right?
yeah.
So your whole argument is it
but
has to be God Himself in person doing this.
But
now
the
you're using
Bible-
argument
no.
that people done it.
But the,
God done it through people.
the
So
Bible
why can't that
describes,
apply to the prophets?
because the Bible describes that God raised Babylon to punish Israel. So that's how we know, right? So if you're saying that it applies to Muhammad, then Muhammad would have had to essentially somehow cause darkness to turn into lights and lead the blind away, and then turn rivers into islands and dry up pools. But Muhammad didn't do any of the stuff. This is all divine things.
It's not talking about Muhammad. It's talking about God through this new song.
No, this isn't through a new song. This is something different.
No, but
completely
I mean,
different.
it's contextual.
So this is God saying basically, for lack of better words, He's tired of Israel sinning against Him, and now He's going to punish
I'm not
them.
disputing that, but I'm saying it can be multiple prophecy, right? It can be multiple fulfillments. The prophet, it could also apply to the prophet.
But this talks about
and,
Israel.
and the legacy of Islam.
But this is Israel. So
Where
essentially,
does it say Israel?
no. So Isaiah is talking to Israel, right? So did Muhammad ever?
Now you're saying your testament can only be read by Jews.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, so like why can't it talk? It's talking to you as well, and you're not a Jew, right? From my understanding.
No. Wait. No, I didn't say that. This can be read in the context that at this time, God was tired of the iniquities, not of the Indians or the Native Americans. It's talking specifically about the people of Israel. And as a result, He's going to punish them, turn their light into darkness, dry up their pools, X, Y, and Z. So this isn't really talking.
Why you can't, like, how do you definitively know that it's not talking about another time in history as well?
Well, it is. This is a prophecy. So these events happened after this prophecy was revealed.
Yeah.
Yes. So the things I'm describing to you, the Babylonian exile, came after this. So yes.
This will also describe Islamic expansion as well.
Well, no,
Why?
it's not because effectively this is a punishment for
let me
Israel.
get your argument
So
right.
okay. So unless you're saying that, for example, when Jerusalem was conquered by Umar, unless you're saying that God rose Umar to conquer Jerusalem, then this doesn't apply.
Islamic expansion happened due to the will of God, right? This
Okay, you can say so.
like from my position.
Okay, sure. I think most of it happened because the two major empires that were fighting each other, the Byzantines and the Persians, have been fighting for so long. Just like here in the UK, we learned about the Battle of 1066, right? About how you had Harald the Viking, William Duke of Normandy, and the king. I forgot what the king of England at the time was called, right? But effectively, William Duke of Normandy won the fight because Harald the Viking and Edward the Confessor had been fighting each other for so long, and they got tired, and so William came in and just swept them away.
Okay,
So
are you
in the
aware
same
of
way,
the context of the Sassanid and Byzantine Empire at that time.
They were
Do you know
fighting
the
for so long.
unlikeliness of the Byzantine Empire to beat the Sassanid Empire in that point in history?
But can you tell me the likelihood that if they
Sorry, for Islam to spread.
sure, if the two powers exhaust themselves over fighting for what was it, like 60 years or 200 years or whatever the hell it was, right?
Sure.
If they get tired from all the fighting, then it makes way for a third party, no matter how small, to come.
Are you aware of how like unlikely it was?
So-
that historians, are you aware of how historians mentioned how unlikely it was for Islam to spread
So
how it did?
even
You're making it sound like it was
even to
expected.
okay. So for example, after Islam,
Yeah.
you have the Mongols.
Yeah.
The Mongols are just as unlikely to have ever left Mongolia.
The source of it.
The Mongols were a despot, nomadic people who used to ride horses, shoot arrows, and drink yak's milk. Somehow, they went on to have the largest land empire in human history. Bigger than the amount of land empire.
That was unlikely, right?
No, it was impossible because he did more than Muhammad ever did.
But your argument is Islam was
And
expected.
they did it faster.
No, but you're saying Islam was expected, so
But
it's not amazing.
neither were the
I'm saying
Mongols.
it was unexpected.
I'm telling you that in history we have multiple examples of small armies winning large battles against large armies, small nations, right? Even Rome. Rome used to be a small village between the Etruscans and the Greeks, and they rose to be the greatest power in the ancient
The
world.
destruction of Babylon was
No,
less
the-
likely
the
than
raising-
the Islamic expansion.
No,
That's your argument.
no. So Babylon didn't get destroyed at this
like
time.
destruction.
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, sorry.
Yes.
No, wait, sorry, what?
So God rose Babylon
Yeah.
to come and take the people in Israel into captivity.
Sure.
Right? Yes. So I'm telling you that what this is in the context of the whole Bible is speaking to the Babylonian exile that would happen hundreds of years later.
You're saying that scenario was less likely than Islamic expansion? Because
No,
you're using
I'm-
the
I'm
argument
saying
that
it's more
Islamic
likely.
expansion was
I'm saying it's more likely.
more likely
Yeah.
than Islamic expansion.
Yeah.
So why are you arguing that Islamic expansion was unlikely? Was likely, and that's why it doesn't fulfill this?
Because effectively, again, two reasons. One, this is talking to Israel and not anybody else. And secondly,
But you yourself know that because you're saying this Old Testament scripture has no application for you and it's not talking to you.
it's not. No.
So this Old Testament scripture is pointless reading in church.
No, it is because you get to see, for example, the mercy of God.
So it is talking to you.
Well,
Because it's talking to you in
it's-
the context
okay.
that you get to see the mercy of God.
It's not speaking to me directly, right? Like I am not awaiting for darkness to be turned into light or for my pool to be dried up, right? But yes, when you read this, God can speak to you through the text.
Yeah.
But in particular, when this was written down, it was written down because God had decreed that He would do a thing. And so the people were then essentially anticipating this to happen. I think the majority of them actually ignored this. And then when it came as a surprise to them. Okay? So again, this can't be Muhammad. Okay. Israel, see? Well, this is the title, Israel, blind and deaf. Okay. Hear you deaf. Look you blind and see. Who is blind but my who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I sent?
Okay. So that could be referring to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the fact that he was illiterate.
But it says blind and deaf,
Yeah, but
and
that-
you
that-
wouldn't use blind and deaf to describe somebody who couldn't read or
But I
write.
mean, you can see the.
I can't because
Okay, but tell me why Jesus. You're telling me this is God, right? So he's talking about God Himself. So God is talking about Himself, and He's saying, "God, you are blind and deaf."
no, that's not what's happening here. I think distinctly this might be referring to Isaiah, but I could be wrong about that because Isaiah is the one who delivered the message, right? But I could be wrong
Now
about
you're
that because
switching,
no,
I thought you were saying that this is all about Jesus. You said the whole at the beginning of my conversation. I'm not sure. But I
Yeah.
thought you said the whole of Isaiah 42 is talking about Jesus.
yeah. If you read the entire thing in context, it's not referring to anybody else other than Christ.
Okay.
Yes, but not every single verse there is talking about Christ to you. Hi. Sorry, I don't have any coins on me. Sorry, I only have a card. Have you got a card reader? Yep. Thank you. Here. Yep. Hear you deaf. Oop, that's fine. Hear you deaf. Look you blind and see. Who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I
So
sent?
who is this talking about?
Let's read further and see. Who is blind like the one in the covenant with me, blind like the servant of the Lord? You have seen many things, but you pay no attention. Your ears are open, but you do not listen. Okay, do you get that? So, here it is talking about people who claim to serve the Lord and are his messengers, but have not listened to him. And this are the people of Israel.
Okay, but here, this specific statement here,
Yes.
who is blind but my servant and deaf like the messenger I sent.
Yes.
So that's not talking about the people of Israel.
It is.
It's talking about messengers. So the Israelis are messengers for themselves. That doesn't make sense.
No. So even the messengers that are meant to be sent by God, I think at this time, were falling into iniquity. Right? So the context below gives the context above. So again, hear you deaf, look you blind and see. Who is blind but my servant and deaf like the messenger I send? Who is blind like the one in the covenant with me, Israel? Blind like the servant of the Lord. You have seen many things, but you pay no attention. That's the being blind part. Who's seen many things? Israel has. Your ears are open, but you do not listen. Whose ears are open but do not listen? Israel. I please the Lord for the sake of his righteousness, to make his law great and glorious.
Could this law not refer to any Gentiles?
Huh? No. So this is this is Isaiah speaking, right, to Israel.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Yep.
disputing the fact that it's speaking to Israel.
Yep.
I'm saying, according to multiple prophecy fulfillment,
Yep.
right, it could also be referring to the Gentiles. Because you yourself accept the fact that this has some application for you because you can learn lessons.
Yeah. But you see, so here, who is blind like the one in covenant with me? So when this was written, who was in covenant with God? The Israelites. So
But
when
it
it
could also refer to a future covenant.
I mean, potentially it could, but I think distinctly, this is Isaiah talking to the children of Israel.
Sure.
Okay. No. Okay. So it pleased the Lord for I think is it there? Okay. We're almost done. It's, 5 more verses and we're done. Is it 5 more verses? Yeah. 5 more. We're done. Okay. So. You who is blind, like the one in the covenant with me, blind like the servant of the Lord. You who have seen many things, but you pay no attention. Your ears are open, but you do not listen. It pleased the Lord for the sake of his righteousness to make his law great and glorious.
Sure.
But this is a people plundered and looted, all of them trapped in pits or hidden away in prisons. They have become plunder with no one to rescue them. Again, Israel. They have been they have been made loot with no one to say, send them back.
Could also refer to Gentiles.
This is the Babylonian exile. I mean, particularly talk about.
No,
Okay.
I'm saying I agree.
Okay.
But it could also refer to Gentiles in the future.
I think very distinctly, this is again Isaiah relaying a message from God to the children of Israel. So like it's like, for example, when let me give like when Muhammad, right, had 13 wives, like in total over his career. This wasn't saying to everybody afterwards that you could also have 13 wives, but this was something circumstantial to his period in time. So in the same way that you wouldn't say, okay, I can have 13 wives now because Muhammad had it like 1,500 years ago, this wouldn't apply today, because distinctly, unless you believe that Israel will one day be taken away again by a nation, then this might not apply.
Okay. Everything earlier that we talked about.
Yep.
There is no specification on Israel. I understand here it does specify about Israel later on.
Okay.
But everything before could also be applied to another civilization.
Don't forget that it talks about the covenants, right?
Yeah, but like as a Jewish friend said,
Yep.
that Islam can also be seen as a covenant.
Islam wouldn't really count as a covenant because, for example, if it did, you would use the terminology. You would say the covenant that God had with
Abraham.
No. Yeah, and by the way, our friend didn't say that it was a covenant. He said that a covenant is like what God had with Abraham, where God had to circumcise his son on the 8th day, and the only people who circumcised, so the only people who circumcised their sons on the 8th day are Jews. That's on the 8th day. Yeah, but that's what.
It's not like they can't.
Well, I think it's mandated for them on the 8th day. Okay. All right, the final two. The final two. Okay. Which of you will listen to this or pay close attention in the time to come?
Yeah.
Who handed Jacob over to become Lutz? Are you familiar with Jacob by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. Who handed Jacob over to become Lutz and Israel to be plunderers? Who is, was it not the Lord against whom we have sinned? For these would not follow his ways. They did not obey his law. So he poured out to them his burning anger, the violence of war. It enveloped them in flames, yet they did not understand. It consumed them, but they did not take it to heart. So this entire verse is talking about iniquity that will be rained down on Israel because they have not followed the Lord.
No, that you're tying this last statement into the rest of the whole
Yeah,
passage.
that is literally the entire passage.
Yeah,
but
I'm saying that could be an interpretation. I'm not saying denying that. I'm just saying the prophet, peace be upon him, also fulfills a lot of what's in there. And
I don't think he fulfills practically any of it, unfortunately, from what we've talked about. But I think you know what? Again, so I think the only thing that Muhammad can fulfill within the Bible is both in the Old Testament and the New Testament when it talks
so
about.
do you want to get a drink first?
We can close. Oh, yeah? Okay. The only thing I think that Muhammad fulfills in the Bible is where it talks about false prophets who will come in the name of another angel and then would preach things that were contrary. And even if they made predictions and it came through, do not believe them because they are preaching a different message than what the.
What's your understanding on Christians who claim to be prophets across Africa?
Right. Okay. Absolutely. So, first, Hebrews 1 tells us about this. In the past, God spoke to us via prophets, but in the last days, He has spoken to us through His Son. So, people. Huh?
They're all false prophets.
They're not. Well, some of
Those
them.
who claim to be prophets.
Some might be, right? But effectively, if somebody, the gift of prophecy is not gone from human beings. So God can still prophesy to human beings, but no new revelation about God will come from human beings. Christ gave the final revelation about God, and that's it.
Okay, so some random pastor in South America
Can have the gift of prophecy. Yeah, a prophet in that. So by definition, a prophet is either somebody who can communicate with the divine deity or somebody who can tell the future. They prophesy. So absolutely, yes, it can happen.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. But on the flip side, yes, people can be false prophets as well at the same time. So the Bible tells us that by their fruits you will know them. So are these people preaching about Christ? And when they say a thing, does it come true?
Just from my understanding,
Yep.
are these prophets greater than Abraham?
I don't know if we would classify them as being greater than Abraham, because Abraham we regard
I
as
thought through Christ you're all,
yeah. So
and Abraham and all these ancient Old Testament prophets, they had their iniquities, right?
Well, okay. Well, a few things that yes, they did. They weren't perfect by any means. They all sinned in various ways. Now, Abraham is considered to be the father of faith in Christianity, and then we believe that through belief in Christ, we are then grafted in or adopted into the line of Abraham spiritually. So I wouldn't say that the prophets you have here are greater than Abraham, because Abraham is
You can't say Abraham, peace be upon him, was greater than these prophets.
Again, the way that you use the word greater, I'm not sure if you mean by more prolific, more powerful. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to there.
I'm meaning by,
Because I don't think that the idea.
by example.
By example. Well, Abraham is again. Okay. If it's by example, I don't think they can be, because I don't know if any single individual can be as like revered or known about in the Christian world as Abraham is. Because Abraham is like a fundamental teaching in Christianity, but then a random pastor in India or whatever might not be. So in terms of impact, no, I don't think so.
Oh, but I'm talking about the mess. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's all.
I heard this in the church once that like priests were saying that we are like greater than Abraham. I was like, I don't know what kind of church it was, but yeah, I just thought it would be
Okay, well, I
it was
would.
the Church of England church.
I would like to know what the context was, but if it was a case where he was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm better than Abraham because X, Y, and
No,
Z,"
we are better than Abraham.
so I am not sure if he was talking about, for
I'm
example.
just trying to understand the context he could be
Okay,
saying that.
well, unfortunately, please go back and ask him.
Sure.
Okay, do you experiment with churches at all? Do you ever go to a church?
No, it was just a friend I was debating in university.
Yeah.
He's a Christian friend, so we went back and forth.
Okay.
And invited each other to church. And
Okay.
all this good stuff. So it's a good relationship. So
Okay.
That's the reason. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, you know what, my friend? Let me get your water. Thanks for the conversation. If you have any more questions, I'm here. I come most weeks, so I'll see you again next time. Well, yeah. In the meantime, enjoy. And I think definitely.
It was a really nice conversation.
I would say so. The last thing I would leave you with, just like I'd like to do this at the end, is that if you truly want to know Christ, or who you refer to as Isa, you won't find out enough information about him from the Quran. You just won't. If you want to know the historical Christ, you have to go and read the Gospels, because Christ taught hundreds of lessons.
I don't want to
And
go off on a tangent.
that's right, but Christ taught hundreds of lessons, and if you only look to the Quran to know about him, you won't be able to find them all.
Plenty of lessons in there.
Not about Christ. So,
Jesus.
yeah, but not about what Christ taught. That's the issue. There aren't.
Can you talk?
Can you tell me 5 things Christ taught from the Quran? There aren't 5 things.
There's only one thing I need to tell you, and that's that he submitted his will to God, and he told everyone don't worship any other than God.
Anything else?
Yep.
Anything else?
So he taught, like, that is the fundamental message. Like, any other message. So why are we going to tangent off that message? That is the fundamental message.
When he says to love your neighbors as yourself, love your enemies, that the peacemakers will be blessed, that he's the Lord of the Sabbath, that through him people can gain eternal life, I think those are more important if you ask me.
Okay. So the Sabbath is more important than the message of...
No, that he is the Lord of the Sabbath, right? The Sabbath, as you know, was given to Moses by God.
Sure.
So if Christ is claiming to be the Lord of the Sabbath, I think it's important for you to hear that, just so you know that when you read about Christ, you're not reading a regular person's biography. This is somebody who is divine.
Okay.
So-
I have my issues with the historicity of the Gospels, but
Okay.
I appreciate the message. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let me give you all
sure,
that.
sure.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
David.
David. It's Tay.
Tay. Love it. Okay. Well, Tay, thanks for the conversation, man. I'll see you next week. Okay?
That's good. Thank you.
Have fun, man. Okay, had a long conversation with Tay. We went through the entirety of Isaiah 42. He is certain that this is about Muhammad, but I am not. So we went through it to see exactly how many things in Isaiah 42, in the first 25 verses, that Muhammad actually fulfills. I still hold that Muhammad doesn't fulfill any of them, but my friend does not. Anyway, we went through the entire thing, verse by verse. So I gave him the Christian context behind those verses, so we will see exactly what he thinks about them when he goes back and watches the video. But anyway, lovely conversation. I wish I could have more conversation like that with Muslims, but unfortunately sometimes it devolves into nonsense. But anyway, I'm happy I had it, and God bless. Thanks.